Hey guys, and welcome to episode 3 of my ongoing video series. Today we're going to be breaking down one of my singles, Ocean Speaker. We're going to be looking at the drums, in particular the structure and what sounds I actually use. So yeah, we'll just get straight into it. I've got the project open now. It's right in front of me, so I'm sorry if I'm looking up to the sky. I've got the big screen in front of me. Yeah, basically I run my drums using just 2 drum tracks whilst writing anyway. Down the line I will kind of export them all as separate audio files, which will give me a lot more freedom when it comes to mixing. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but for me, when I write the drums originally, I try and do it as basic as possible, just to get the structure down, and then eventually I'll go back through. It'll kind of be like the first and last thing I do, so I'll lay it down first, and then once I finish the song, I'll go back through and tweak the drums. So we're going to start off by looking at the signature fill that I feel, I'm saying fill a lot, the signature fill that I feel defines this song. It's massive snares and toms into the driving intro. So here we have it. So yeah, it's a massive fill, very simple, just 3 on the mid tom, 3 on the low tom, 3 on the snare, and then we're straight in onto 16ths. One thing I want to take a look at here is that there's 2 different snares that I'm going to be using. This will probably be a perfect kind of example, because the snares here, if you see, they're on beat, but this 2nd and 4th I'm going to put on a deeper snare. So this is quite a flat snare, as you can hear, but what I'll do is I'll put them up onto this one so you can really hear the difference. I don't know if you can hear as well, I've put an open hat on the 2nd and 4th snare. It's just basically to kind of generate some form of pulse within this song. But yeah, as we go forward through this, you'll hear that like kind of on the 2nd and 4th bar of every drum beat within this, I try and accentuate some sort of snare movement or fill. There's no right or wrong when it comes to this, but it's just to kind of help the song drive forward without it just being a basic 16th beat. So I've got this section going on 16ths. It goes into the second part of the intro, as we'll call it, and on there we introduce another synth, but we're not here to talk about synths today, we're here to talk about the drums. One thing I will add as well, that as you can see I've got 2 drum tracks here. The SP12 kit is the snares and toms. This is kind of, they're EQ'd with some drastic, I'm going to have to move this over, sorry, I've got 2 screens and I'm only recording one, so as you see there, I've proper boosted 9 dB on 140 Hz. It's way too much, but it sounds fat, and the general samples themselves have quite a lot of attack as it is, so adding that low punchy end really like kind of pushes them forward and makes them sound really fierce within this mix. And then on the 707, this is where I've got my kick drums and the hats. So the kick and the hats are on one track, and all of the snares and toms are on the other. Is there a reason why I've done this? Not particularly, other than that I liked the cymbal work on the 707, and I found the kind of snares and toms on the other track to be quite cool. The plugin I'm using for these is Battery 4. You can buy this for £189, or if you want to, from Native Instruments. Personally, I wouldn't spend that much money on this, even though I have it. I would buy Complete 10, it's 300 quid, and you get like another 60 plugins. You'd just be an idiot to spend 180 quid on this, but it's really cool. As you can see here, all of these are loads of different kicks, and you can swap them in, so you've got your kit like across the board of what would be like, you know, the MIDI keyboard, and it's literally just drag and drop wherever you want it. So I could have this all kicks if I wanted to, and you can just shape it as and when you go. You've got all these effects at the bottom as well, but I won't go into that today because I've just picked the preset sounds. I was happy with them. I've done minor tweaks on them, but it's generally just EQ, and obviously I've got a little bit of reverb on the toms. So in this next section, the drums drop out. It's introduced with the kick drum and hi-hats go in, and the kick is setting what will be the rhythm in the following section. So we'll play that now. You can hear I'm still bouncing between the deep snare and the flat snare. I shouldn't call it a flat snare, it doesn't sound, you know, I'm sure if the snare had feelings it would be very hurt right now. Yeah, we've got the kick. Another fill. So it's only the second snare that's flat. So I've started to introduce some open hi-hats into this bit. It's just constantly building up this section, so what I wanted to do was make the drum beat sound a bit more frantic, building up. I didn't want to do it with the kick and the snare, so I've just kind of gone to town with the cymbal work, especially on this next part. I've added some 32 kind of driving cymbal work here, and that's just to match that synth that's sat at the top. Now, I'll stop it there. The kind of story that I wanted to tell with this section is just getting like tiny little bits are being added, especially on the cymbal work, to kind of push this drum beat forward, and you're getting the idea that semi-climactic's coming. And what I actually do is I pull the drums back out of the mix and go halftime to allow room for the lead synth to kind of take ownership of this next section. I've also got an impact hit on the beat. I'll discuss that when we get to the end of the song, and you'll see the placement of where I've chosen to use them. Here you have it. It's going to go from quite a frantic kind of hi-hat beat into a halftime beat, and the synth will soar, and it sounds bigger, so less is more in some cases. That's what I tell my girlfriend anyway. I love this little wobble now. So we've picked it up again. This is just the flat snare for this section. So that impact hit's going to come back in, and we're going to drop the drums out one more time before the end of the song. So this is where I kind of add, I would say, like a trancey build-up. We've just got the kick going like that, and we're going to have 16ths on the hats. We're going to get more and more faster towards the end, and then I've got a transitional fill, which is the beginning fill at the beginning of the song, the one that I say is like trademark throughout this song. But on this case, I've got it on a separate track, and I've scooped the low and the high end out, pushed the mids with a noise swoosh. And then it's just kind of like the beginning again, but you've got that Blade Runner sounding pad synth. So yeah, this Boomer FX is actually an Apple loop. So if you're a Logic user, you can use these too. Don't go crazy with them. They're the equivalent to a sub drop in the metal or dubstep scene. They do sound really cool on their own. So if I remove that from the mix, there was like no impact there whatsoever. You were kind of like ready for it, like come on, and then nothing, you know, it wasn't there. So that's the kind of placement that I choose to use them. Really like an emphasis on a new section. So we'll hear it now with the Boomer effect. So yeah, there you have it. It's kind of like, I've never done these before, so I'm just trying to kind of go through how I structured this song. It's a lot of hi-hat work on this song especially, and just the use of that trademark fill to kind of introduce the story, which is this end section, which was also at the beginning. Kind of the sandwich effect. Sometimes I'll have a pop structured song with the chorus repeating 3 or 4 times, but in this case, you've just got it right at the beginning, again at the end with the added Blade Runner synth that I was talking about. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it when it comes to this song. So if you've enjoyed this video, by all means stick around. Episode 4, I will take a closer look at the synth work within this song. So that'll be like the arpeggios, the bass, and some of the pads that I'm using. And we can have a closer look at Complete 10 as well, if any of you guys are interested in what sort of sounds that has to offer. It's such a good bundle. I use it in everything. They're not paying me to say this either, by the way. But it's such an awesome bundle that without it, I wouldn't be making this music. And I know a lot of you guys have found other ways to do it, but for me, this really hit home. I opened, metaphorically now we're talking, I opened the box and everything that I wanted to make this music was there. So yeah, we'll do that in the next episode, but this has been episode 3. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm Craig. See you, bye. Thank you again. Take care.